Let me begin today by reminding you of something powerful, something so simple that most people overlook it their entire lives. Your future, my friends, does not collapse because of one dramatic event, one crisis, one storm. No, your future collapses quietly, silently, almost politely. It falls apart because of the tiny things you ignore, the habits so small you barely recognize them, the little choices you repeat day after day until they shape a life you never planned to live. Most people are not defeated by enemies. They're defeated by their routine. They don't lose because of a catastrophe. They lose because of a pattern. And as I've said many times over the years, failure is nothing more than a few errors in judgment repeated every day. That's the danger. It's quietness. You don't hear the alarm. You don't see the warning signs. You simply wake up one day and wonder where the time went, where the opportunities went, where the potential went. But the good news is this: just as failure is subtle, so is success. You don't need dramatic change. You just need deliberate change. One new discipline, one new decision, one new direction. Remember this: you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction tonight. So today we're going to uncover the 7 quiet habits that kill your future, not loudly, but slowly. And once you see them, once you understand how they operate, you won't let them steal one more month, one more year, or one more dream. Let's begin the journey of awareness, because awareness is the first step to leadership, and leadership begins with you. Now let's move to the first quiet habit that steals your future, and it's one most people never consider dangerous at all. It's the habit of ending your day without a written plan for tomorrow. Seems harmless, doesn't it? But let me tell you, it is one of the most expensive habits you can maintain. If you don't run the day will run you, and it will run you in circles. Most people wake up every morning and drift straight into distraction. The first thing they reach for is their phone. The last thing they reach for is their purpose. They start the day reacting instead of directing, responding instead of leading. And you cannot build a meaningful life on reaction. You must build it on intention. Every night before bed, take 10 quiet minutes. 10 minutes. Sit down with yourself and write your top 3 priorities for tomorrow, your real ones, not the ones that shout the loudest. Prepare your mind. Prepare your energy. Prepare your direction. Because when you wake up with intention, life begins to cooperate. And when you wake up without it, life begins to scatter. A day is too long to drift and too short to waste. Leaders don't wake up confused. Leaders wake up prepared. So make it a rule. Never let your head touch the pillow until you've designed the first hour of your tomorrow. Because discipline starts before the day does, and so does success. Now let's move to the second quiet habit that slowly kills your future, and this one is subtle, so subtle you can go years without noticing the damage. It's the habit of spending more on entertainment than on education. And I don't just mean money, I mean attention, time, and energy. Entertainment is easy. It comes wrapped in bright colors, short clips, quick laughs, and endless scrolling. But remember, my friends, Netflix will never knock on your door and say, "Excuse me, I'm here to steal your dreams." It steals them quietly, 15 minutes at a time, 1 episode at a time, 1 late night at a time. Most people have developed the habit of numbing instead of learning, distracting instead of improving, consuming instead of creating. But success demands a different pattern. You get paid for the value you bring to the marketplace, not the hours you sit in it. And value comes from education, self-education, reading, studying, observing, growing, investing in your own mind. A book can change your life. A course can change your direction. A mentor can change your destiny. But none of these can help you if you choose amusement over advancement. So ask yourself every day, how did I increase my value today? If you can't answer, the day has already cost you more than you realize. Make a simple shift. Trade 1 hour of entertainment for 1 hour of education. 1 hour. Do it for a week and your awareness changes. Do it for a month and your habits change. Do it for a year and your entire future changes. Small disciplines, big dividends. That's the rule. Now, let's move to the third quiet habit. And this one, my friends, might be the most dangerous of all because it doesn't just touch your schedule or your wallet. It shapes your identity. It's the habit of surrounding yourself with low-standard people. And let me tell you, this is the one that sneaks up on you. You don't notice it in a day. You don't notice it in a week. But over time, association becomes influence, and influence becomes direction. Years ago, I learned a lesson that changed my entire life. Someone told me, Jim, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Not the 5 people you admire from afar. Not the 5 people you wish you could be like. The 5 people you sit with, talk with, laugh with, listen to. If they complain, you complain. If they settle, you settle. If they disrespect their potential, soon you'll do the same. Because no one rises above their environment, not for long. Association is like the climate around a seed. Put a good seed in poor soil, and it won't matter how much potential is inside it. If the environment is weak, the results will be weak. Some people don't lift you, they quietly lower your standards. And here's the danger. They don't do it deliberately. They do it naturally, simply by being who they are, but the opposite is also true. Sit with people who are disciplined, and you'll begin to value discipline. Sit with people who talk about ideas, growth, plans, possibility, and suddenly your own conversations begin to change. Your questions change. Your standards change. Your life changes. Sometimes the greatest act of self-leadership is not adding a new habit, but changing a chair, changing a room, changing the circle you walk into. And if you ever feel stuck, don't just look at your habits. Look at your company. Because your future is sitting at the same table you are. Now let's talk about the 4th quiet habit that kills more dreams than failure ever will. Procrastination, especially the sophisticated kind. I'm not talking about the obvious procrastination where someone says, I'll start next week, while knowing full well they won't. I'm talking about the kind that disguises itself as logic, as planning, as caution. The kind that sounds intelligent but produces no results. People say, I'm waiting for the right time. They say, I just need things to calm down. They say, I'll begin when I feel more prepared. And all the while, time is slipping away. My friends, that is not wisdom. That is delay dressed up in a nice suit. Procrastination doesn't need your permission. It only needs your hesitation. And the longer you hesitate, the stronger it becomes. Here's what I learned. Successful people start before they are ready. They begin with a rough idea, a shaky voice, or a small first step. They move, and then they refine. Meanwhile, others wait and wait and wait until their opportunity expires. The truth is, you don't need perfect conditions. You need courageous beginnings. You don't need a flawless plan. You need a willingness to take that first imperfect step. Motion creates momentum. Action creates answers. Progress creates clarity. So beware of the reasoning that sounds smart but leads nowhere. The mind can be a brilliant negotiator, convincing you to postpone the very thing that could transform your future. Break the spell, count to 3 and start. Not tomorrow, not when it feels easy. Start simply because your future deserves movement, not excuses. Now let's move to the 5th quiet habit. And this one is subtle but extremely destructive. Letting your emotions make your decisions. Most people don't lose because life is too hard. They lose because their feelings are too loud. They say, I don't feel like working today. I don't feel inspired. I don't feel ready. And if you let feelings run your day, they will run your life straight into regret. Emotions are beautiful servants, but they are terrible masters. One day you feel motivated, the next day you don't. One day you feel energetic, the next day you wake up sluggish. But discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline asks, what did you decide? And that's the question that shapes your destiny. If you lead your life by emotion, you will only act on your good days. But if you lead your life by principle, you will act on every day, good or bad, sunny or cloudy, motivated or tired. And that, my friends, is the difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs wait for passion, professionals build habits. Amateurs let moods decide, professionals let values decide. Remember this. A decision made in the evening must not be overturned by a feeling in the morning. If you made a commitment, keep it, especially when you don't feel like it. That's where character grows. That's where self-respect grows. And that's where your future begins to trust you. Lead your emotions. Don't follow them. And watch how quickly your life takes on a new direction. Now let's move to the sixth quiet habit, and this one is so gentle, so invisible, that most people never realize how much it is costing them. It's the habit of living without measurement, never tracking, never evaluating, never checking where your energy, your money, or your time is actually going. What you do not measure, you cannot improve. And most people drift through life not because they lack ambition, but because they lack awareness. They don't track their habits, so they assume they're doing okay. They don't track their spending, so they assume money is just tight. They don't track their progress, so they assume nothing is happening. Life becomes a blur, and when life becomes a blur, results become accidental. Successful people sit down every week, and they ask the hard questions. What worked? What didn't? Where did I waste time? What do I need to adjust? This is not criticism. This is leadership. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. You can live the same year 70 times, or you can live 70 years of growth. The difference is measurement. The moment you begin tracking anything, your habits, your diet, your reading, your goals, you introduce clarity into your life. And clarity is a superpower. Track your days, and you will understand your weeks. Track your weeks, and you will transform your months. Track your months, and your year will not surprise you. It will reward you. Remember, 1 hour of honest reflection can save you 10 years of repeated mistakes. Don't drift. Measure. Don't assume. Verify. Because awareness is the compass that keeps your life on course. And now, my friends, we come to the seventh and final quiet habit, the one that destroys more futures than failure, tragedy, or bad luck ever could. It is the habit of neglecting small daily disciplines, not the big things, the small things. The little choices that seem insignificant in the moment, missing the morning routine just once, skipping the reading just today, spending what you shouldn't spend just this time, avoiding the workout for one more evening. None of these seem catastrophic by themselves. That's why neglect is so dangerous, because it arrives disguised as harmless. But remember this, neglect accumulates, neglect compounds. Neglect turns a promising life into an average one, quietly, gently, day by day. And here's the truth, success works the same way. Success is also a product of small daily disciplines. 10 pages of reading, 10 minutes of reflection, a simple budget, a short workout, one act of courage, one act of consistency. The difference between failure and success is not dramatic, it is subtle. It is the difference between a few simple disciplines practiced every day and a few small neglects practiced every day. The future you desire is built in the moments no one sees. It's built before sunrise. It's built when you choose the book instead of the screen. It's built when you act on your plan instead of your impulse. Character is created in the quiet. Strength is built in the unnoticed. And your life, your entire life, is shaped by the habits you repeat when no one is watching. So make this your new rule. Never let neglect have the final word. Choose the small discipline, win the quiet battle, and watch how those tiny victories add up to a future you can be proud of. And so, my friends, here we are at the end of this lesson, not the end of your journey, but perhaps the beginning of a new one. We've uncovered the 7 quiet habits that steal your future, not loudly, not violently, but quietly, one small compromise at a time. The habits that seem innocent in the moment, yet devastating over the years. But remember this, you don't need a miracle to change your life. You don't need a breakthrough, a lucky break, or a shot from the heavens. You need a decision. A single decision to stop feeding the habits that weaken you and begin feeding the habits that strengthen you. Success is not mystical. It is not hidden. It is not reserved for the lucky few. Success is simply the result of consistent disciplines practiced over time. Failure, in the same way, is simply the result of small neglects practiced over time. The gap between the life you have and the life you want is not measured in miles, it's measured in habits. Tiny habits, quiet habits, daily habits. So tonight, don't try to change your whole life. Just change the direction of your life. One new discipline, one new decision, one new pattern. And soon, you'll look back and realize you didn't need to move mountains. You only needed to move yourself. Remember, When you change, everything changes for you. When you grow, everything grows with you. And when you lead yourself, success cannot help but follow you. So walk out of here today with clarity, with courage, and with the commitment to live by the disciplines that build your future, not the habits that steal it. Your best days are waiting on the other side of your best decisions. Make them count.